It even goes as far as just the language people use. It shows you how limited people are, like mentally. Instead of talking in a full sentence, it's just all slang or it's just mumbles.
Word short. They say short. They talk like short, like, and they say I don't care. They be like IDGAF. Like, I don't really understand when you talking like this. Like you're talking Chinese. Like, just tell me that. I'll text certain people. They'll be like, they'll send me like a thing. I mean, I don't really talk to people, but I'm just saying like when you talk to people, they used to send you like they'll tell you like what's up or bye, but they'll say it like in a slang talk, and you wouldn't understand. They'll be like FYM. Like, what does that mean? And I gotta research it. I don't want to feel stupid for asking that, but it's like just don't make sense. Like people don't even speak English anymore.
What I start to realize is a lot of people are living in like a false ego.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they gotta hold up that image because it's like they always gotta come across as if they're like, I don't even know how to explain it in words, but
Like they're too cool for school, basically.
yeah, they always gotta come off like they're too cool or like they're passive. So everybody's putting on an ego. It's like a false ego identity.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize that that's what's limiting them. It's not allowing you to express your mind. It's not allowing you to go beyond your ego at that point.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to shed the layers of that, or they don't want to shed the layers of their ego. I be seeing people who are talking a certain way, and I just know. Well, I don't know it for sure, but I can kind of tell like this ain't even how this person really talks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like their whole. It's like it's not even an act to them to be this way though. So it's like they built an identity off of it, and it's like it's who they are now. But I know it's hard to explain it, but it's like I know deep down that that's not truly who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're so far gone into their ego to the point where they're basically living a false identity.
Yeah, I would see that
They're
too.
talking a certain way that they don't even really talk. They're dressing a certain way, and it's like now they have to live up to that image.
Yeah, I know a couple guys or people like that. Like they acting like just the way they talking and they dressing. Like I'm not even used to that in them. Like they used to be like a kind of like a school kid. Like they would do their work, but now they like dressing like a certain way, talking to like it just looks stupid or smoking. Like I guess like when you're a kid, you don't really care. You have that edge.
But somewhere down the line, it's just the programming takes place, like that have man consciousness. Most people just fall into the programming of the quote unquote culture. So now they got to use certain words, they got to dress a certain way, and they've been so programmed by the quote unquote culture and just by the have man matrix. Like they've been so programmed bad that now they built an identity out of it. Now it's who they are now. That's how far the programming took them. That now it's their identity.
Like you know what's crazy? You hear me?
Yeah,
I even see some kids like who were gooder than me, like who were um scholars who got straight A's. They played in sports, and now when you go on their Instagram, they like hood and they smoking. I'm like, bruh, you had
Hmm.
like a safe
I seen
space.
it too. They have
It didn't make.
they be having both parents in the house, and they're like they got a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
but the kid still ends up like turning to the streets and trying to put on a false image like being a gangbanger.
It's weird. Like I could have probably done that, but I didn't do that. I was like, nope. But they,
It shows you how strong this programming is. It can literally change your identity from being somebody that's completely different and then turn you into somebody that you're not.
mm-hmm. Or it could be like, say they family got into like an issue, so it's like they probably moved out the suburbs and went to the hood. But what is like the likelihood of that even happening? Like, come on, I mean, unless like their
Or
parents,
it's like peer pressure.
uh huh,
Like I said, it's like the quote unquote culture. It's like if everybody else is doing it, you're gonna do it
mm-hmm,
because you're gonna feel lame. You're gonna feel out of place. You just want to fit in with the standard.
uh huh.
Like everybody else is talking like this. Everybody else is running the streets. This is the cool thing to do. This is how I feel accepted around everybody. This is what everybody else is like doing. It's basically the standard of life. Like, this is what you gotta do in order to feel accepted. A lot of people don't have an identity. Like
I guess like you go through that stage where you change like that around
they don't
seven.
have their own identity. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm. Like I notice how when kids get older, when they get through the middle school to the high school phase, like seventh and eighth, so they start to like lose their innocence. That's when their ego starts developing their personality,
Hmm.
and they start to become more stuck up. Like before, they're playing outside, playing tag, but now they start to become like they try to act like they're grown, and that shit bothers me. Like I get it, you go through puberty, you grow, but it's like they start to act like they know everything, and it's just stupid. They start to like disrespect their parents and all that who took care of them. Is like they just need to be grateful because there's people who don't even have parents, like who don't even like. There's people that their parents hate them, that their parents like abuse them and shit, and they want to like act like they have it so hard. Like it just always bothered me, like with those type of kids.
I've seen it with everybody, like men and women,
Hmm.
boys and girls. Like I'll see a girl who has like great parents, raised a certain way, and she turns out to be like a thought. She wants to act like all hood and all of that. Like I've seen it on both sides. Like I've seen how strong the programming is.
Hmm.
And once your innocence gets tainted, it's just over for most people. They lost their innocence, and they're not as pure as they was. Once you lose that purity and that innocence, you lose that identity.
A lot of people think they can just, oh, I'm gonna just add hood. I'm gonna add this so I can just get along with the get along or whatever. Like, nah, it don't work that way. Like, once you live that life, you're done. Like, live the
Because
street life.
the innocence that they had was look, they perceived it as corny. Like if somebody was like a, for example, if somebody's a virgin or something, they get shamed for it. Like innocence and pureness is looked at like corny to people. It's like a weakness to people. So they go out of their way to like destroy their own innocence and their own pureness. Because that's how society has made it. Like anything that's about purity and innocence, they're gonna deem it as being corny.
Hmm.
or like a weakness against you. So people are going out of their way to like lose their innocence.
Mhm.
They're like, oh, I don't want to be a virgin. Let me just go out here and do this. They start getting tattoos. They start smoking.
Mhm.
Because all of that's deemed as the cool thing to do. And now they've lost their innocence, and now look at them. You start to see the after effects of it. Now they're already too far gone.
Uh huh. A lot of people they use their trauma as an excuse for why they're away. But it's like, why do everybody dress the same? Why do they have tattoos? They have the same hairstyle. It's not because no trauma. Like I don't. It's not because you got abandoned, taken up. No, that's not how it works. Just because you're trying to fit in or you're trying to like you're trying to get certain things and you have to like adapt to that. Because there's people who went through things and they did not do that. It doesn't really work that way. Like it's because you're trying to fit in and get what you want.
You're trying to keep up with that social image.
They always be like, "Oh, it's trauma." It's not no damn trauma. Like they always use that as an excuse. It could play a role, but it's like that's just not what it is. Then why you guys all look the same? So y'all all went through the same thing? Yeah, somebody got to be lying.
It's that half man consciousness.
Uh huh.
This brings back the point that we were speaking on earlier about how when you're moving right, it gets deemed as something like bad. When you do the right thing, it's not the popular thing to do. You get looked at like a clown or you're corny. This is why I said you start to realize like this is programming the whole time. Like you're facing a backlash for trying to do right. It's not a person that you're going against. It's not even like a certain energy that you're going against. It's like you're going against, what is that word for it? And I just had it in my head. You're basically going against like programming at that point, like a certain programming that's instilled in this like matrix.
hmm Like this system, I don't want you to be a nice guy who does everything right, who goes to church and all that, gets brownie points for people, or they want you to be a criminal. You can't be something unorthodox. You can't be somebody with morals, somebody who is serious. Like you got to be a nice guy who's just trying to like get validation, or you got to be a criminal. I'm not being none of those because it doesn't benefit you. You know.
And this programming is like 100% more for like the black community.
Mhm.
It's like if you see other races, like they can be accepted by just being them.
Mhm.
They don't have to dress a certain way. They don't have to talk in a slang. But it's like for us, it's like everything is so limited and it's so like confined. Like there's certain rules and regulations that you gotta follow. Like you can't talk like this. You can't do this. You gotta live like this. You gotta listen to this music. You gotta use this word. You gotta listen to this certain artist. It's like everything is so confined and so programmed.
Mhm. Like I notice as a black man, you can't be average. Like women complain about like there's no good black men, but it's like y'all choosing like the top part of them, a certain one. He has a status or he has certain things. Like as a black man, you always got to go above and beyond because you have the expectation because your genetics or whatever. Like you can never just be average. Like society complains about black men, but the average black man you see, he minds his business. But if you be seeing these videos, it be these weird white guys who be doing these weird pranks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then these women they get mad about the black man, but it's like you're messing with a certain part of them. Don't like categorize all of us as that. Nah, they're doing the reason why they do that is because that's what gets the result. You know what I'm saying? So you can't don't shame us and put us all in that bracket anyways. You
They
know.
subconsciously know that their like values so low, so they know they gotta go above and beyond.
Mhm.
Like you said, they can't be average. So people clown they clown a lot of black men and all that for. I mentioned this before, but they clown black men for like wearing chains and bandits. They're like, why are you wearing chains? These other races just make money and wear collar shirts and some khakis. But it's like a lot of black men know subconsciously that they have to go above and beyond to be valued. Like they gotta have the extra gold chain and the extra watch, and they gotta have like accessories. Like
Mhm.
just them by themselves, it's not value. So they gotta basically add value to themselves.
Mhm. Yeah, like that's the reason why these girls be going for those criminals or drug dealer guys. Even the younger girls, it's because those guys got money. You know, so that's a lot of those guys ain't broke. Like those guys be getting there fast. You probably seen it too. Like that's why those girls like with those guys. They're not dating no guy for no reason. You think a woman's just gonna date a broke guy with nothing? Like, come on. Like, I mean, you see it, but a lot of times they be having money. They be
Hmm.
spending that money fast, like it's just nothing. So they want that fast. You know, a lot of women don't want to wait and build with a guy. Like, they just want that instant gratification. Like, you know.
This is why if you're in these black communities, it's gonna
Mhm.
be like 10 times harder for you to beat the programming because, like I mentioned before, how you realize like there's like an extra effort in the programming with us, like with this whole quote unquote culture and the standards. Like it's like more programming that you gotta like break. Not to mention the environments that you're in. Like you're battling all of this programming, then you gotta battle your environment. I'm not using this as an excuse. I'm just saying like this is how it is. And then you're not even valued as a person unless you have certain things, and you know it subconsciously. So this is why like a lot of black men do the things they do because they know that they're basically not even valued. You're not even valued as just a person. Like, you gotta go out your way. You gotta have this amount of money to show, or you basically feel worthless. If you don't have nothing to show for yourself, you're gonna feel worthless. Like, you've always got a chip on your shoulder or something to prove.
Mhm. Like I know that a lot of black men don't get along with each other, but I'm not racist. I don't mess with like other races of males because they tend to be racist into my experiences with them. Like they tend to like talk crap about black men. Like when you want to date the other races of women, they want to act funny. Like I'll get along with black men more, even though some of them be on some crap. They be me mugging. With other races of
Hmm.
males, they're kind of like racist. They don't want you like messing with a women. It's like they want to keep you like limited. And then they the same ones telling black women don't mess with like black men because they just like you know like and then black women they be trying to like date white guys, saying white guys are better. And then we warn these like black women that white guys like they have a weird nature about them. Like they're no better than us. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to compare us to these other races of men. Like we're literally like the most copied race of males on this earth. Like, and they want to compare us. Like, Like, come on now. Literally, white people are barely producing now. Like, they're like, it's just funny how they try to compare us black dudes. Like, it's just stupid, and it gets me like angry. Like,
It's like we gotta go out of our way for just basic things.
hmm
In order to get respect from certain people, you gotta have street cred. You gotta do this. You gotta be a part of this. This is why you hear people bragging about that stuff. Yeah, it sounds crazy to the outside world, but you start to see the reason why. You're thinking to yourself, why is he bragging about how many bodies he had? That's the most dumbest thing in the world. But once you see the program, and it's like, that's the only way he's going to be respected. That's how program, like, that's the type of program that they're living in.
hmm You know what's crazy? Like, they'll other races will be like, "Why black men a certain way," but then they'll make videos about like those channels, like you see them like make videos about like the rappers' bodies. They just always like making a video that's negative about us, and they'll like praise it and listen to our music. But you never see these same other race of people making videos of the positivity that we do. Like, they embrace our culture too. You know, in
Hmm.
fact, they even buy and go to our shows. Like, you never see these people embrace the positive stuff we do. They like
They
that.
even promoted,
Uh huh.
they promoted them as and the destruction.
So all the stereotypes about us is just bull crap. They like it. Like, you know, they get a kick off of it. Oh, black men hurting each other. Oh, body, yeah. Like, then as soon as we like do something positive, especially on the media, they want to try to blackball us. They want to like can't. They want to like cancel us. Like, but then want to like as soon as we do some bull crap, they want to like be quick to like promote it or
Hmm.
say, "Oh, look at him! Look at a black man acting a fool." They just doing this on purpose.
And what I another thing I noticed is like they'll promote the destruction of like black men and all that, but it's like when you see a black man who's like speaking the truth and all that, they'll deem him as crazy. Oh, there's something wrong with he's crazy,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll like blackball you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start pushing a better message, they're gonna stop it. So they're basically perpetuating it. They're perpetuating the very thing that they're basically complaining about. You promote the worst type of music. You promote the destruction. When somebody wants to break the mold and they want to speak the truth, they want to go against the grain. Y'all blackball them. Y'all claim that they're crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's why I tell like black men, if you do something, do it all independent.